Let me just.
It is beautiful outside today. I think this is the time of the day when the mosquitoes come out, and
Uh, why on earth?
is one of the volumes down?
Hello? Are we back? Oh, I can see it now. That is so weird. Um,
I got sound.
oh, really? Okay, let me just bring it all the way back to the top. Hello! I'm just on a single screen now, too. I'll bring you back in, Cheffo. Hey, that's what happens in these lives sometimes. You just never know. We always do sound checks right before, too, which is just so crazy. But hi, if you missed that whole first 5 minutes, it's okay. We're just going to bring it all the way back. GM, welcome to the live stream, Nouns on the Air with Aubtoshi and Cheffo. Live every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. PST. It is awesome to have you guys here. Thank you, JD, in the chat. We love having our awesome chat with us here. If you are watching this on Twitter, LinkedIn, Twitch, or YouTube, please drop a comment in the chat. We can see it, and we love interacting with you. And I will bring back our lovely special co-host, Cheffo. I can see audio here now too, so I hope everybody is good on that. Let me make sure. Just a little bit down there. Okay, I kind of got adjusted it a little bit.
Sounds great on a nice
We're doing it live.
Saturday evening here.
We're doing it live. We are in Con France. We're here for our final day. We're kind of winding down our trip here, proliferating nouns at the film festival. A lot of insight, a lot of connections to NFT companies, which was a very beautiful surprise being here. And so we'll talk about Con. We'll talk about the things that we're going to do over the next 2 days. While we are here sort of closing out the film festival, we also have an opportunity to bring Nouns to Monaco for the Formula One race for the first time. I think it's the first time Nouns are there. We're really excited. We're going to go with our friend from Rug Radio France. It's just going to be an epic kind of closing down of the south of France and what our proliferation efforts were here. And then, of course, towards the end of the show, we'll sort of talk about how we're getting ready for NFT Brazil. So it is awesome to have you guys here. I'm hearing everybody loud and clear in my ears. How are you feeling, Cheffo?
I feel great. I'm ready to, just hang out with you, Aubtoshi, and yeah, just I don't know. Like I feel like we are trying to translate our experience through the podcast, and yeah, there's always a lot going on. I'm really excited about going to the Grand Prix. I think that's going to be super intense,
Yes.
super just lots of brands, lots of excitement. I think it will be interesting to just have Noggles be kind of there on site, and really and truly, you never really know who you're going to meet. But for me, I think one of the highlights of our trip has been establishing a really great relationship with Rug Radio France.
Yeah.
We hang out with POAP France. Now we're hanging out with Rug Radio France, and so
Yep. And the French community
it's
is
a great connection.
it's I wouldn't even say it's small, but I think that they are definitely getting more involved with each other for the first time. I remember when we were at NFT Paris, we stayed in an Airbnb, and so the guy who came and helped us bring our luggage upstairs to our Airbnb was like, well, what are you guys doing here? We're speaking at the conference. We're here for NFTs, and he himself had an NFT project, and we asked him if he knew anybody and had a Web3 sort of community, and he said he didn't. We were able to get him a ticket to the conference, and he was able to meet everybody. So I think everybody in Web3 in France, and especially the south of France, is still very much sort of growing. But people are just this year, I feel connecting with each other for the first time because of these great events. And like we said earlier, there was an NFT crypto event here with a company that has a PFP project. So people are getting out there, and it's so important that when these companies and different people are trying to meet each other in this industry, IRL is the way to go. It is how it all happens. How are you going to learn about someone's projects if you can't meet them? And how are they ever supposed to learn about you? So it's cool. It's cool to watch their community forming.
It is. It is neat. I think, obviously France loves films. We got to see the Caladita
Yes.
team and learn more about their project. And, they're the first DAO-funded European documentary
Mm-hmm.
funded by NFTs. And, that was like a really interesting piece because we got to meet fairly OG noun builder.
Yes.
We got to meet a whole like film production squad.
Mm-hmm.
We had a chance to hear about like the different minting dynamic that they're going to be playing around with, and so it was a really good opportunity for us to learn kind of perhaps another way to do distribution. But ultimately, for me, it was like fairly clear that I think film
Mm-hmm.
is going to be something that gets turned into NFTs here in
Yes.
France, and maybe like in different countries, like PFPs are bigger or something like this. Who knows? But I feel like film is going to be really great for NFTs here in France.
I do too. And, we'll continue to sort of talk about that today as we hang out on this pod. But I think that's a great segue into sort of talking about our sponsor, which is Nouns-DAO. As you guys know, this live stream is possible and brought to you by Nouns-DAO. If you want to specifically learn how we were funded as creators and builders within the DAO, you can visit nouns.wtf/vote/206/206. Oh yeah, thank you so much. And then while you're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and show everybody the noun for the day. So there's one NFT auctioned through this DAO every single day. Look at this beautiful, glorious crown. We love the crown heads. All of the proceeds from this auction, which will be ending in about 6 hours and 45 minutes, which means that there will be a noun square show in probably 6.5 hours. So if you want to participate with the community that is watching the end of these auctions and seeing what new noun comes up after the auctions end, definitely watch the Noun Square. Monday through Fridays, they have awesome guests, both from within the Nounish community and people that are kind of doing their own thing in Web3 as well. But today will be a light show, so Saturdays and Sundays on the weekends. It's a lighter show. They watch the auction. It's really fun, and everybody in the community gets a chance to catch up with each other. So go check out that space, the Noun Square on Twitter. But as soon as this auction does end, just a little bit over 6.5 hours here, all of the proceeds from this auction are going to go into the, I clicked the wrong thing. I clicked the Etherscan. That's pretty boring. You can click this. You can click this and go see the Etherscan and see all the transactions that have happened within the DAO. But what we really want to do is go over here to this DAO button, nouns.wtf/vote. That's where you're going to see all the proposals that go on chain. Creators, builders, artists, companies, entrepreneurs can put their creative ideas up on chain.
We thought that we were going to maybe see 300 by now, but
Oh, yeah, we're still waiting for that Prop 300. When's it going to happen? Okay, wait. Let me just quickly do dash 53. Okay, so the prop that we were talking about, this NFT funded movie, was actually Prop 53. When did this happen? Last May. Okay, like I even think like those first kind of 50 props must have just been so important for the DAO as a whole. Really showing like these awesome things that were funded. This certain prop was to contribute 6.9 ETH to funding Caladita Film. And so we have gotten the chance to meet the director and founder and proposer of this, Miguel. Thank you so much, Miguel. Miguel was an awesome, awesome part of helping us plan Bitcoin Pizza Day. And I cannot wait to see this film. I know that they're in post and they were here promoting the film as well at the film festival. I have retweeted him on my page. If you guys scroll down and find him, give him a follow. He's incredible, and it was really cool to connect with such an early on Nouns-DAO funded proposer. Caladita, I'm really excited about it. He did get kind of some sneak peeks of like where we might be seeing noggles or some Nounish things within this movie. But it is being shot, it looks like it was shot in Barcelona, Spain. I'm really, really excited to see what happens.
and that's I think where they're doing their post.
Oh, should we watch? There's a 2-minute intro video on Twitter. Should we watch that?
We love watching videos of it.
I actually haven't seen this yet. Ooh, let's watch this. Oh, it's this intro for the prop. This is great. Okay,
Mm.
hold on, man.
Mm.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's just my internet, guys. Aw. Wow. Hmm. I'm so sorry that the stream is so bad, guys.
Yes. Internet.
Okay. Cool. Wow.
Very
Very cool. Again, just geez, guys, I don't know why my freaking thing is being so terrible right now, but we are all like operating on just like a normal internet over here in Con. But again, very cool. Early on, prop builder within Nouns. If you yourself are interested in doing a proposal or pitching your creative idea to Nouns, don't hesitate to reach out. We love that. We love helping builders. Like shout out JD. It's awesome to have you here in the chat. I did see that you said you're back. It is awesome to have you back as well. I know you've had an adventure, and I'm excited to hear about that. But we really do want to encourage builders to find the best way to propose their ideas, especially since you do not need to own nouns to put an idea, but you do need a sponsorship of a nouner or a noun holder. So, depending on your idea, we could help you maybe connect with holders that have similar interests, and maybe they would be interested in putting a prop on chain. And so that is our little fun nouns review today. Love this little crown.
great.
Just to speak on, Miguel as a person, it really is cool to see and have gotten to meet different filmmakers, directors, writers, actors here at the festival. I agree with you, Shefo, what you said about film being huge for NFTs. I think we talk about it a lot too, like music NFTs are something that we kind of really believe in as something that could inspire mass adoption. This phrase everyone throws around in Web3 of like how do we bring more people into this industry? Music NFTs can do that, but I do feel like film NFTs could do that.
It's just one other piece of content that can be tokenized, and people will, come to understand tokenization. Tokenization is, you know, just merely breaking something into a part
Yep.
or a whole.
Yes.
You see things like that with open editions and stuff where you're pretty much minting the whole thing, but
Mm-hmm.
now we're seeing scenes minted, frames minted. We've seen pixels minted out of the entire picture. So it's just an interesting take on the whole use case of it.
Mm-hmm.
For our movie, I would really love to experiment with using NFTs for, some of the screenings and some of the first showings and stuff like that, or private showings with Aubtoshi and Cheffo, whatever that may be. There could even be some type of rare where it's like
Mm-hmm.
you get to go to like you know, South by Southwest Film Festival with us or something like that. Like, there
Well,
could be some really cool dynamics.
and even how you said like it could be parts of stuff or like a whole thing, but like maybe everyone can mint the whole trailer, but that like if you mint the trailer, it'll give you an option to then kind of continue to mint or be on a whitelist for once scenes start minting. Like our friends over at Movie Shots, which is a group that we met
Oh,
here.
I really like that idea, by the way.
Yep.
Kind of like you mint onto a like pre-list.
Yeah, pre-list, which could be cool as a trailer. Um, Starting to build, those ENS address lists that we talked about. Our friends at Movie Shots kind of said that they do their NFTs by like they break down the movie into hard cuts, and then there's rarities and traits along with each of those cuts, like which character is there, is it a close up or not, and then you have access to other things if you mint some of those too. But it could be interesting. Oh, what I was trying to say is they inspired us to and said a cool way to do it instead of like, or in addition to collecting emails, because you always want to collect emails. It's just kind of, it hasn't gone away. It is a direct access to someone's, you know, inbox. If you're trying to get a message out there or a newsletter or a blog or tell people about your film coming up. But collecting ENS addresses could be another thing because you would be like, maybe the trailer, you like drop a preview. Maybe like there's a little flyer or something that says that. I'm not sure. There's so many creative ways that you could think of like how to distribute this type of media.
Yeah, definitely. And you also have to figure that ENS addresses will be functional for messaging when there are like gasless or gas cheap options. You know, people will send messages via the blockchain or side chains or roll ups or whatever is being used. But yes, the collection of an ENS address is going to serve a great function.
Yeah, and it's actually smart too, maybe for music artists to be collecting ENS addresses. Obviously, you have to be careful in that. This is not financial advice. DYOR, you do want to be careful when you're interacting with a ton of people's wallet addresses, and you always want to be cautious of, seeing something in your wallet that you don't necessarily remember purchasing. But maybe that's something that you could do like in a safe way. Like you tell people, hey, if you give me your ENS address, like expect to see like a flyer for when the trailer comes. And then you can like through your emails that also say like, okay, the flyer's there, like check your OpenSea, or wherever your wallet is that holds your NFTs. So there's safe ways to do it, but again, be safe out there. Do not click on random links. I know that everybody in the industry kind of just experienced a hack that happened when someone had hacked Steve Aoki's Twitter account. He then posted a link that then drained people's wallets, unfortunately, and NFTs that they had. So again, always make sure you know who the sender is of the link, you know why you're clicking on a link, and then always triple, double, quadruple check when you are being required to submit a signature to sign off on something, especially when it has anything to do with your wallet. So always good to just do a little housekeeping with the safety rules out there. It's just the best practices. Every single person who operates in this world has to operate like that. Everybody makes mistakes. I've seen a tweet from someone saying like they are like so have been in this industry for years, and even they got hacked just because one day they were trying to like purchase something and they were really tired, and so they like weren't kind of thinking straight, and then they just kind of like by habit just like signed a signature for the wallet, and it didn't go over well too. So there are phishing scams out there, so do be careful. But for the most part, you can kind of tell if someone out there's Twitter is kind of hacked. Maybe it sounds a little bit wonky. Most people would not promote random things, and most people would say, I would never send you links in DMs. So always good to be safe. But in that, of course, we still want to innovate. And I do think that there's something about the trailer sort of thing, getting someone on a whitelist. Nounish right now is minting their NFT, which went along with their proposal. So that's like something that's really cool too. Like there's so many different cool like things that you could do. I'm always like really thinking about how we'll get there, but we're filming still until December, and so we still have a little bit more time for planning on that end. And so our main focus is, of course, this live stream that we get to bring to you 3 days a week and the events that we get to go to. So I also like. I know we're gonna close out con a little bit, Cheffo.
Mm.
But last night I was in a Twitter space, and it was a V Friends Twitter space. Up until last night, I still saw people leaving
Oh
on the
my
airport.
God.
I feel like people just didn't want it to end, and I know that there's a lot of like there was FOMO for people who weren't there and able to attend, but there's is everything okay?
I'm looking at pictures of Brazilian beef recipes.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that people
Gorgeous.
not only had FOMO. Well, we're talking VeeCon. We can get to Brazil. We're gonna get to Brazil,
Oh,
and we
you
want
know
to
how
see your
much I-
face. It
you
looks
know how
like
much I like beef.
we want to see your face on the
All
stream.
right.
On the stream.
I'm hungry, Aubtoshi.
uh, People had FOMO if they weren't able to attend, but I think a lot of people right now are experiencing like a kind of sadness of it being over. So even last night there was a space talking about people's favorite things from VeeCon. So I thought that was pretty cool. Shout out to everyone who was holding down that space, Creatress for hosting. Cheffo, what was your favorite part about VeeCon? Do you think if you had like one
Yeah.
singular moment?
Um, a singular moment. Okay, that would be probably when Maureen walked into the Bud Light booth.
Yes.
That was probably for me like the
Shout out Tart.
single most coincidental moment, and I know that like you were really happy about that. That was great. Second best, I would say.
Speaking of Maureen,
Buster
Maracuja,
Rhymes.
Juicy Lips, Grapefruit. Thank you, Tarte Cosmetics, for
It's
keeping
not,
these lips juicy.
it's not an ad, but it certainly could be.
It is for me. It's a free ad. We love it. We love a boss babe CEO lady out there doing really cool marketing things. I'm so sorry. So second favorite was
Don't be
Buster
sorry.
Rhymes.
Don't be sorry. I mean, Buster Rhymes was incredible. We were like right up front, and you got to give Gary the noggles at that concert.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. I think third for me was probably meeting like the Flyfish crew and recognizing them and saying hi and taking a noggle picture.
Mm-hmm.
As a chef, like I'm still super interested in what they're doing, and so it was just it was really neat. I mean, overall, VeeCon, I think as opposed to like just one favorite specific event that was my favorite, like my favorite thing from VeeCon in general was that we got to meet people that we hadn't met yet. We do meet similar people, and we'll meet project leaders, which is really great because you get to deepen your relationships with them. But at the end of the day, we did meet like a whole new crowd of people, and I found that very interesting.
Me too. And like to touch on all those experiences as well, like not only did we get to meet Maureen, and I got to tell her that I'm inspired by the things that she does in marketing and as a business owner, but I got to give her a shirt. And so, in all these experiences at the Buster Rhyme concert, I got to give Gary Vee noggles. In meeting all of these people, I got to introduce people to our live stream and get to hang out and sort of connect with other projects that I hadn't had a direct connection with yet too. So I feel like you have the same sort of favorites as me, and on top of that, there was this very much like nounish element to all of it because we are here proliferating for nouns in all of these different ways. But I feel like, of course, meeting people was great, but getting that chance to, because it was so intimate of an environment where someone could do a panel and then come off stage and you actually could go up to them. Like I met Randy Zuckerberg and got to give her a pair of noggles. Like just these really cool moments that might not be able to happen as easily at other events. I think that was my favorite part of VeeCon. Okay, so what was your favorite part of being here in Con France?
I would say like seeing how excited people get for the red carpet. I mean, I know that's like cheesy or something, but
No, it's not cheesy at all.
The red carpet thing is really real, and it's like
Yes.
it's like this crazy pinnacle moment of like all this work that people put in before a movie, then during the movie, then after the movie, and it's like, and then it all kind of like culminates at an award show or a film festival or an award show at a film festival, and then like on top of that, that kind of culminates on the red carpet, and it's just crazy. Like you know, and people, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, there's like hundreds of people standing around, thousands at points, like
Yes.
it could be, I think it was like midnight last night, and there was a line of like 200 people that looked like they were going to some like midnight showing or viewing. I mean, it was wild. Obviously, like there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of like people that don't have talent that are just here to hang out, and so kind of seeing the mixture of how people kind of vibe into that. You know, we got to see Alec Monopoly. That was he's a surprisingly good DJ. That was amazing. Like that, he was dropping some heat inside a building where there was like flames and sparklers and who knows what else.
So you like more probably the overall, just like the experience of being here.
I like the experience of being here. It's just inspiring because it shows you a reverence, a respect for the format of film. And as someone who's working on one right now, that was really inspiring, and it was also a pleasure to be able to say that we were working on one.
Yep. I definitely think like hands down my favorite event. It was crazy because it was like on the first day that we got here.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a year ago already, but
The pizza.
hands down, Bitcoin Pizza Day, sponsored by Nouns. And
You mean that was this week?
I know it's crazy to think about it, but it was incredible. 45 to 50 people were there over the course of 4 hours, enjoying pizza, networking with each other, and
You know
all,
what?
of course, getting noggles.
I think we were the only pizza party around the world that might have had like a little pizza shooter. We had those like spoons. Like we had pizza, but the chefs had prepared these little like hors d'oeuvre on a spoon. And it was like prosciutto, mozzarella. You know,
Epic.
I think some basil. I think maybe and you just kind of ate it. But then like it didn't really hit me until afterwards that like probably pretty much only in France are you getting this like, you know, little done up little like.
Well, I saw photos of other people's things. Like, it seems like everyone had like, you know, their own little unique pizza parties. It was so cool. They're around the world, over 90 different cities.
You know, we were eating our pizza in the restaurant, and it kind of got brought out like on like a table kind of thing with trays. I noticed like the Melbourne guys, they went hard with the pizza boxes, and so for me next year it's going to be all about a pizza box stack. You know, we'll have to recycle them obviously, but that was really cool to see from the Melbourne people. And I didn't even know, I found out later that restaurant that they were in Melbourne is one of our friend 87 Burger Down.
Oh, nice.
That's his pizza restaurant in Melbourne.
Oh my God, that's so cool. And I think they had like 150 people there.
They had a lot of people there, and
Dude,
it's like
that is awesome.
A really modern space with screens. They had NFTs, like music.
Yeah. There was such like a heavy Nouns presence, I feel like, in all the different parties. Nouns really showed up. It was really cool to celebrate with everybody. I did submit our photo that we took, like a group photo where we're all wearing noggles. Pizza Dow posted something saying like, submit your photos, like who was the most Nounish party? And I'm like, were we maybe the people that had like the most noggles in one photo? I don't know. So we obviously had an incredible time. And the best part about it was actually getting to talk to people about it, like, you know, how could like they present their ideas to Nouns, and they all had different varying ones, but having them be ideas that kind of were all geared towards film and media was really cool to hear, because I heard some pitches and stuff of things that I haven't really thought about before.
I did too.
So great times.
I heard a couple for some fairly artistic and creative, like how would I say, like interpretive art.
Yes.
So we'll see what comes of that one.
I love it. I heard people thinking like maybe they could get something for the production side, or maybe they could pitch like post-production or distribution, like all the different ways that you need funding throughout the process of making anything like in that media style. It's really cool to think because Nouns themselves as sort of inspiring even just the thought process alone of like, well, what does new age VC funding sort of look like, and what could that look like for you? So
I mean, if you look 41 posted something earlier about how Nouns has like this high throughput, and even brands like Disney and stuff like this, or Apple, like they're not funding like a movie and a wet wipe, a movie and
A beer.
right? So Nouns is already rather quickly actually starting to spread its wings and its web and kind of like diversify the types of things that are really getting funded. And it is interesting to see one of the founders kind of like experiencing that, I would say.
Oh yeah.
And realizing the uniqueness in that. I think, we kind of are fortunate enough that here on the podcast and stuff, we do have a chance, and we've made the decision to consciously, cover these items and to go about some of these conversations in this way. And we think that this is a good way to go through props, give updates from the ecosystem, but we've been doing that, and so we kind of get to feel like the vibe of everything going on. Whereas I think maybe some builders are kind of just really focused on their particular project, and that's great. That has to happen. But for one, and other people who are like pulled back naturally, just kind of like from their position in the thing. Like 4-1's not out necessarily building; he's kind of leading, and so like it's just two different site paths. And so it was interesting to kind of see, one of the founders have that moment of, I guess inspiration and realization and just love for the project. So overall,
GM chat.
yeah, we're just gonna see it continue to ramp up, and I think that's the point of it all. I think that's one really good measure for how the DAO is doing, is kind of like what the ramp up looks like. Yeah, but all really interesting. I'm super curious what prop number 300 is going to be.
I know, I'm excited. Don't feel rushed if you want to get there, but I'm just saying that would be a pretty special number. Congrats to Nouns for coming to this point and to actually getting this far. The fact that there's nearly 300 proposals on chain right now, that does not even include all of the prop houses, the not on-chain proposals that have been coming through in the last, I want to say, like just probably shy of 30 rounds that they've held throughout the course of Prop House being live. So a lot of ideas, a lot of the potential of ideas. As we know, submitting a proposal is the first part of the process. The proposal does have to get passed. That will happen through first of all, it meeting quorum, or meeting the threshold of the minimum amount of votes to get it. And then you also have to have more for votes than against. And so that process itself is like difficult. We have ourselves been through it 3 times on chain. It's difficult, but can be very rewarding. And I just highly encourage anyone who has had a proposal that maybe has not passed to take in the comments, learn about how the community is sort of viewing this prop. What do they kind of want to see? And then resubmit, which is what we saw happening with the NFT Brazil crew. And to not be discouraged. If something doesn't happen now, that doesn't mean something won't happen. The reason that there is so many props is because people will kind of come back and reiterate on their props. There's another prop live right now for the computers, Nouns computers, put up by 5 Oceans. I believe that was a prop that was canceled at one point, reiterated a little bit, and now is back on chain for people to vote on. So I would just really encourage you to not be afraid of meeting as many people in the community as possible. That is going to be your best way to sort of start really taking in feedback, comments, questions. You can see tons of things at the Nouns discourse. Again, if you go to nouns.wtf, just click that menu button. If you hit the DAO button, you see all the on-chain props. If you hit discourse, you will see this almost like Reddit style, like message board thread where people sort of kind of first propose their ideas. That's another great way to get comments and feedback before making the big leap of going on chain. So really exciting to see. I know that the NFT Brazil prop just kind of barely didn't pass. It's okay. It's gonna still happen, just without the specific things that they were talking about, which I believe was like certain advertisements around the city and then like a specific Nouns booth. But the whole event is still going down. We will be there next week, and we are excited. I know Cheffo's already can't even help himself. He's just looking up the Brazilian beef.
Yep.
I think it does not surprise me that our resident chef is already thinking about what food is going to be there.
You know, food is culture, and
Yep.
and culture is nounish.
Well, don't make us wait. What did you learn about Brazilian beef?
Well, there's all sorts of great stuff. Like there's a lot of like skewered beef cooking. There's whole larger primal type of cooking. A lot of it's done over wood and open flame. There's delicious sauces that typically can go with it. It's gonna be delicious.
I'm excited. And for those of you who don't know about this event yet, _NFT_Brazil with an S. Brazil. Go ahead and give them a follow. You'll see the website there. Tons of speakers. It's being spearheaded by Bob Burnquist. If you are a Tony Hawk Pro Skater player like myself, you will know Bob Burnquist, and it's pretty cool that he's spearheading this movement in Brazil.
We should watch a second of your of the video that we made with Vlad in Denver.
I can maybe pull that up. I think like this like video streaming thing right now is just like not happening. You can go to the YouTube page that we have. We do interviews, and you'll see one with at ETH Denver with Vlad and Brett Pinbusher. So that's a great intro to Vlad. It was his first time in the States actually. So that was really cool. So now we get to come to their part of the country. We're really excited. The Brazilian community has been epic in their proliferation of nouns. JP has been doing nouns things as far as I can remember, and I want to almost say that he was in Prop House round 1 as well. And if not round 1, he was there in the second or third one.
He's been in food nouns for a long time as well.
Yes, he's been in food nouns. We love the Brazilian community.
I mean, for me, that's like the highlight of us getting to go down there. I think, to be completely honest, like with the prop not passing, like it makes that even more important that we're going down there, and to give them credit and shine light on that community in the best way that we can. Not to say that they haven't done a good job of that already, but yeah, we're gonna go and bring nouns on the ground down there and all the equipment and get beautiful shots. It'll obviously be in the documentary.
Yes.
Social media. And quite honestly, I do think it will be one of these places where there's a lot of like people who are trying to jump into crypto or jump into something like a prop house or a sub DAO.
Yep.
And those types of environments are highly effective for nouns on the ground because we are really good at talking to builders. We're really good at talking to people who want to buy a noun or people who have a noun. Like, that's fine. We do that. We're great at that. That sometimes is harder to measure. You don't necessarily know when you're talking to someone whether they can afford to buy a noun. A lot of times that's not like an appropriate part of the conversation to have.
We're very much like on the education side, kind of like, but community education.
And so for those reasons, I do think that this will be a really good environment for nouns on the ground and kind of our approach to it. I think that will capture a lot of happiness, camaraderie.
Yep.
Lots of like we're gonna make it attitude, which we love.
And you can't just pass over the fact that Bob Burnquist is there and spearheading this. It's very important.
There's like a celebrity element, which is amazing.
Well,
try to not be too like celeb.
More than that. No, it's not about the celebrity.
I'm cool, dude. I'm pretty cool over here.
It's not about the celebrity. Hold on. You're missing the entire point right now. Cheffo just is embarrassed because he doesn't maybe know who that person is.
I know who Bob is. I didn't play.
You weren't a gamer.
I didn't play the video.
He's not a gamer. He's not a video gamer.
I'm gonna have to admit that. Just like, hey, Bob, nice.
That's
to meet
what's
you.
really happening.
I didn't play the game.
This is the meltdown of someone who like didn't play video games as a child, and he's like doesn't understand. But I'm just kidding, Cheffo. But this is important. Listen. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I can't skateboard for crap. Yeah, dude. I feel like I'm too tall and like skinny that like me falling would be like a tree, like a giant tree falling. Like just could be all bad for everybody. But Bob Burnquist, okay, this is why this is important. Brazil just made it possible for people to skateboard. I think in the last 10 years, like it was illegal to skateboard there. And so this is a movement that has like united people, the youth, you know, it's like, it's this epic, like, it's like a sign of freedom and hope, you know, skateboarding. Yeah. And then Bob Burnquist obviously being a massive voice in that world and an iconic figure. And just so you know, Cheffo, so in the game itself, there's probably like 10 skaters that it focuses on. Obviously, it's Tony Hawk, you know, is the main one. But if there's like these 9 to 10 skaters that you could choose from, you pick their outfits and stuff, and then you skate around and do all that. But
I love that.
But Bob Burnquist was one of the main ones.
Did you used to play as Bob?
I did. Really? I would play as Bob. I'd play as kind of like all of them.
Did they, I mean, silly question, I'm sure the answer she asked, what were their, like, they had individual skill sets?
Well, you could do like all different types of tricks, but there was like specific tricks that people are like kind of known for, and then their outfits were different.
So what was Bob's trick?
Oh my God, that's way too detailed. There ain't no way I'm going to remember what that is. We're talking like a long time ago this game came out. But the other thing that's really cool is because you do have to have like, okay, if you have a moment where you have a celebrity thing like aura around you, like, and you use that for good, he's doing that. He's going into the Brazilian community and into their government and talking to the mayor and talking to people to sort of make crypto and NFTs not feel like this big scary thing. So you were also correct when you said you feel like the community could be like new people coming in. Like, yes. And he's definitely spearheading that and making that all possible because he is talking to people who are going to be making rules about all this stuff. I think it's something that can't be overlooked. I commend anyone who's out there just a part of that conversation in their own countries, trying to make it easier. I know that we talk about it with France a lot, like in Paris. Their government is kind of pro the innovation side of NFTs. Macron's wife, the first lady, spoke and opened the conference of NFT Paris. We had the Minister of Tech there, Jean-Noel Barrot. We got to interview him, just 2 questions, but it was so exciting. So it was like the best 4 minutes ever. So good. But those people stepping up and saying, this is okay. Hey, NFT Paris, we see that you've gathered thousands and thousands of people who are artists and creators and who want to do something in this industry. Like, okay, we see that. Not as a threat, but as something like, of course there's going to be rules. There has to be rules on things. But they're seeing it as an opportunity for innovation. And so I believe that Bob's efforts in Brazil are creating that pathway of government kind of also viewing this as an opportunity for innovation. And that's just something we just can't thank those people enough for because it's important. It's why we're able to go live, you know, and talk about NFTs and crypto and DAOs. It's why we're able to travel to these events and talk about DAOs and stuff too. So I myself cannot, maybe one day I'll be walking up to Capitol Hill and trying to do something. I don't know. That's just like not what I can do. That's not like the talents that I can offer. But what I can do is help teach you guys about the community and different awesome things that are happening. So shout out Brazil. We're really excited to come there.
Super stoked.
Very excited. We do still have to like finish out our time here. We do have a bonus experience that we will be bringing Nouns to tomorrow.
Can I get an air horn?
Oh yes, wait.
Thank you.
Got my little mini table in front of me. My air horn's a little bit of a far reach there right now. We are bringing Nouns to Monaco for the Formula One race. So I do have some things up here too, but I just want to quickly say, I know I went off on a tangent yesterday about like NASCAR and the story behind like Earnhardt Jr. and Earnhardt and all these things, but it's because we were talking about Charles Leclerc. I was talking about Charles and this one of the race car drivers for Ferrari this year at Formula One.
Oh, I got some sounds.
Nice.
It it's going to be
That's gonna be hard for the
crazy.
podcast audio.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the sound. That's what it sounds like there. It's wild.
Oh,
We'll have to get your plugs.
that was a V6. I think this is a V8. This is oh, these things are nasty. I saw this thing.
Damn.
So I saw this thing. Mercedes is really pissed right now, or I guess it kind of just happened. They haven't officially put out their like statement of how they're upset about it, but when they were loading like one of the cars from something to something, maybe like into the race area or something, I don't know where it was coming from. I just saw the TikTok where they had the car like on a crane, and they had grabbed it by like the roll bar or something on the top, and they were hoisting it up. But I think in Formula One, there's like different trade secrets. Like there's standards in all racing where you have to have certain parts of the car that are exactly the same. But
Okay.
I think that there's different parts of the car where you literally innovate to try and save little millimeters of there's very precise engineering, and supposedly it's called the floor.
Okay.
And you could like see the whole Mercedes team. The camera like panned over, and they were mortified. They were just mortified, and because once they raised it up off the ground like that, there was people probably taking pictures and getting all the secrets of their design of their car, and I just had no idea that it was so like secretive like that still. And I would be upset because they're putting like millions of dollars into that research and development on the engineering side of how these cars like are able to operate and just by a fraction second faster than the other guy or gal. And it's like a big no-no or a big controversy that's happening right up the street right now.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mercedes.
I'm going to look to like a little bit of the history of this as well. But what I thought was crazy is yesterday we were talking about the story of Earnhardt and his son. And then I didn't really know a lot about Charles or his backstory. And we found out like
What's
after
the
like
last name again? How do you say it?
Clark, I think.
Clark.
Yesterday, like after the show immediately ended, I looked up his story. He's the son of a race car driver, a Formula 3 race car driver. And so I thought that was incredible. He also apparently he's from Monaco, like one of the like places really close to Monaco. So it's his hometown. He's had some notable family tragedies in his life, such as his father. And so there's this like whole like vibe around him of like we're all gonna make it. Like he's putting Ferrari out there for the first time. Apparently Red Bull just like wins these every single time.
So what you're saying is he's the French Dale Earnhardt Jr.
That's what I was trying to say. That like
So if we see him, we can yell Junior.
no, I'm like gonna no, I would not do that.
In French.
Thank God it's that loud there, so people won't be able to hear you doing that. But I'm gonna literally clip the thing from yesterday. It's crazy to me because I was like super inspired by that father-son story, and we kind of were like introduced to Charles. And of course, I'm so sorry to all the other race car drivers who I'm not talking about right now. But it's Charles is like this is like a Cinderella type story for Ferrari with him being their driver. And of course, I'm a Red Bull girl. I love Red Bull.
Red Bull,
They're killing it. Yeah. They kill it every year. They're undefeated. But like as of recent, but I gotta just say that the story of Charles and like it's all over social media. So that story's also playing to people who aren't even into or kind of like know too much about the race. Like whoever is like going for his social media, like they're really like building him up. He has like a cool story with this other person I think he dated. I've been watching that like they broke up, but she even like still comes and they're like best friends.
Question. If you're walking down the street tomorrow and there's one of these little knick-knack shops and you see a Red Bull hat or a Ferrari hat, what hat are you buying?
I'm gonna get both, and I'm gonna probably like swap a Nouns hat so people can be like, what is this? Like that's actually a really fun activation too, like re-putting that in. I did get a text from my dad saying like, oh my God, I've always dreamed of going to that place. Like, will you please get me something? So we'll get him a hat. We gotta get Dad a Formula One hat. That would be so awesome. I can't wait to. I feel like I also like need like a Monaco Ferrari hat. I'm just saying, like, come on.
That'd be cute.
That'd be fun. We'll wear it on the pod when we're in Brazil because we will be the next time you guys see us streaming next Thursday. We will be, wait, actually, let me check that date because I think that's actually also the first day of the event. 1 second, let me see. Oh, it's the day before the event, so it's the first. So our first day of the event's next Friday. Okay, so we'll be streaming from Brazil, getting ready for the event, and we'll be rocking our Formula One gear to show support for
And I
the
believe
things
the
that we've already done.
show will be at between 2 and 4 local Brazilian time. And
Oh, because they are 1 hour ahead of East Coast. Okay, yes.
2 to 4 local Brazil, Sao Paulo time.
Perfect.
10 o'clock PST.
Yes, always. It's always a GM show, no matter what. Even now, as the sun's setting here in Con, as we kind of get to the end of our first hour here, very quickly, probably in about 20-ish minutes, it'll be dark enough to people can like see into what we're doing. We have like these lights on us as well doing it. It's like yesterday I saw people just like staring from down there, and I had to like put my horse blinders on because I'm like, oh my gosh, what do they think is happening right now?
Well, not only is it a little loud out there with all the scooters and all that, and horns, but why else did we have to keep the door closed today, Aubtoshi?
Oh my God, we talked about it on the pod yesterday. We had a little pigeon friend named George who comes. We went out to lunch today and left the doors open just to keep the breeze in. This George came inside.
He did.
And he wasn't here when we got back, but he left a little present for us on the floor.
Yeah.
And that was just hilarious. See, if you watch the stream religiously, you'll be living these experiences with us as well, because we did talk about George on the pod yesterday as well. So our little pigeon friend.
Followed through there.
I will be sad to leave him. Even we got back, I'm like, what the hell? Like, we cleaned it up. It was like so gross. He like pooped inside of the house. And like we went out and like I'm like, I bet that little bastard is out here somewhere. Like, looked around. He was like on the other person's like little balcony and like saw me and then flew over. And I'm not even kidding you. Like, came over to say hi. I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to come off as a crazy pigeon lady, but there's a special pigeon here, and his name is George, and he's different than other pigeons. Okay, he knows what he's doing. It is cool too, like to always. We had to have these moments because we do travel so often, and like don't really have like a extreme home base because a lot of these events are back to back, and so like having these little touch points of like, oh, like our home that includes George the pigeon for this 1 week. Like
I think
it's meaningful to me.
Your spirit animal at the last place was a carpenter bee.
It was a carpenter bee, Beatrice.
Beatrice the carpenter bee.
Yep.
The thing was fucking cute, but annoying, right?
I literally forgot about Beatrice. I guess I just like have a little animal pet at every single one of these things. It wasn't just like a random bee. Like, it was staying out by the door the whole time and like would hover there.
It was eating the house.
It was just hovering there and like staring the whole time.
Well, we don't have Noggles that small yet, but you'll have to figure that one out.
Dang. I did see a really cool.
I had a great conversation at the end of the night last night with a bartender who's bartending at one of these places right close to where we're staying, and they're actually a sound engineer and have been going to school for sound engineering. I think they started at Berkeley School of Music.
Okay.
Yep, he got a scholarship to go to Berkeley playing drums. Went there, and then there was some type of calling to France, and came here, got another scholarship, and kind of transitioned into film and sound engineering, and is working now on that kind of schooling part-time with the intention of moving back to North America and doing professional film scores, and that's amazing. I'm gonna continue to build that relationship and probably pick their brain as we start to move into some of the sound design. I kind of have some really, I think, cool ideas for how we can use music in this movie. Last night we were out at this place. It was a cool party, and there was a DJ, a French DJ, like French techno,
like R&B. There was like a French R&B.
Really cool. And then this guy comes on with the saxophone, and he's like soloing sax on top of it, and we're filming that. And so for me, like those are going to become these like super important moments in this thing, because the music is like gorgeous. Anybody who loves music knows how important it is in your life
Mm-hmm.
and in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. For me, I think he was like the second or third sound person that I have had a chance to talk to here. So there's definitely like much as there is visual people here, there are sound, and
Oh, yeah.
that was fascinating.
Well, and I think kind of like shows the crossover between music and film scoring and sound in films. Like sound in films is massive. Like we saw that from the Academy Awards. Like that, uh, I think anything everywhere all at once.
Mm.
I'm not sure if that's the exact title, but like the guy
Maybe.
showed his like sound board that he was building for these scenes, and like it was like so extensive because you have to imagine that it's music, it's the person's audio, it's a footstep, it's like wind, like it's everything.
One of the I was looking at a software that kind of lays some of that out this morning, but one of the things that Miguel and his team, I think, are doing, I think is one of the reasons why they had to go back early or whatnot, is to record with a live orchestra in Spain, I believe.
Wow.
And they were pretty much saying that you can kind of, like, people who know, and so like when you don't have like a quality orchestra recording, or if you try and like budget through
Like GarageBand.
yeah,
Like
instrumental stuff.
no offense,
like,
GarageBand.
it becomes fairly obvious to people in the industry, especially. And so he was actually saying that, you know, depending on who it is, which symphony is recording it, it's not as expensive as one may think. And so, and typically I think they only record for like an hour or 2 hours. And so it's not like this month-long process for a lot of small films. But yeah, they pretty much are, I think, and I would assume the way it would be they would probably have some type of like rough cut of the scene, you know, playing, and so that, you know, that could be orchestrated into the, you know, so that the musicians are vibing with it. But I would love to know how that process really went for those guys, but we'll have to talk to Miguel. I'm pretty sure that's where he was headed from Cannes, was to go film an orchestra.
That is so cool.
Yeah, for the Nouns movie, or I won't call it the Nouns movie, for the movie
Caladita.
The Nouns helped fund.
Yep. Caladita, Prop 53. Really cool. If you guys want to know more about how that was specifically funded, nouns.wtf/vote/53 is where you're going to find all of that info.
We'll definitely have Miguel come on here.
Yeah, I would love to interview him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to start featuring guests on our show for a time period. We're like a 30-minute slots. I'm excited to reach out to some people to be on here and talk about their projects. I think highlighting others in the industry is really important, and we cannot wait to start implementing that. I think it could happen as soon as next week. So keep tuning in into the live streams, you guys. Are just going to keep getting better and better. And, you know, we ourselves are getting better. I think we are together figuring out the format of the show. I love having Cheffo on here as a co-host. I think like having these two voices, especially since we both are experiencing all of these things together, is really cool and a really unique perspective to this industry, and to sort of stories that are being told within it, and news that's being told. Like, I do feel like we do go over like some news and stuff, but there's so many great channels that I also go to for that already. I think like this will be a great place to come for specific stories about individuals that we meet out, both Nounish and people who are just creatives in the industry. Just, we got to highlight people, guys, and continue to be community people so we can get more people onboarded into this industry and make it a not so scary thing. And so,
yeah, I mean, like, you and I are not scary people, right? Like, we're cool.
I don't think I'm scary
enough. Like, we're nice. Like, we're here. We're hanging out. Like, pretty easy to talk to. Like, you know. And so it's like, okay. I mean, I have no problem being like someone's entry point into crypto. You know, I can handle that like conversation. I know how to do that the right way. Like, you obviously do as well. So yeah, I hope that this show is a good thing for people that are new to crypto, and they can understand that, you know, you don't have to be a mathematician, you don't have to be a stockbroker, you don't have to be a millionaire, you don't have to be a computer engineer. Some of those things are beneficial, and some of those things may define the path that you take in the industry.
Yep.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, and one of the things that I was talking to my friend about last night was, like portfolio management. It's literally all completely individual choices. Like, what are your goals in life? What are your goals in your most current and recent part of your life? Like, how much time do you want to spend on something? Like, how involved do you want to be in something? And I think that can hold true to anything, whether you're going to teach yourself how to sail or play the guitar or whatever it may be. You're always going to have to find a balance with other things that you're doing in life. And that is no different when you're talking about Web3. So I do think we're doing a great job.
Well, it's cool to hear in the chat too.
Thank you for letting me hang out and be your sidekick over here.
Well, I was just going to say our other sidekicks are with us all the time. It's everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
I will encourage you guys every single time. Don't forget, you guys could be literally watching this on LinkedIn and you could comment and we will see it. So Twitter, YouTube.
Did here to say that they watched it on LinkedIn?
Yes, at VeeCon. That's where they also watch it.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. So just you guys, if you're participating or want to participate, please comment. We love it. We love hearing from you guys. I've been getting great feedback from people saying, wow, I didn't know Nouns was involved in so much, or hey, I didn't know about that particular event. And so we're here, for you guys and for the community. If there's other things that you want to hear talked about, or if there's specific guests, especially since we're going to start implementing guests on here, if there's someone that you really want to hear more from in the community, or maybe there's someone you hear on Twitter Spaces all the time, but you never really kind of see them on video, let us know. We would love to meet those people as well. I have a couple of people in mind that I'm really excited to see if they'll come on the stream with us. But we want to hear from you guys who you want to hear from. I think that's really important. And so maybe there's a special Nouns project that you want to hear from the proposer or something. Just think outside the box. It's all good. Whatever you want to do, interact with our tweets and interact with our stream. We are here with you guys. And, I know we're past the first hour here. I'm seeing, oh my God, that is so cool. Outside, there's a bride. There's a bride and a groom.
Oh, yeah.
They're all taking photos. That is so much fun. We're live here in Cannes, France for our last of the 3 streams that we are doing here in Cannes. You guys will see us in a different setting next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And as you know, Nouns on the Air, we go live every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. West Coast time, no matter where we are in the world. You know what I realized that's going to be a little bit difficult? When we go to Japan Blockchain Week. I think it's a 2 a.m. stream. That might be the time where we might have to make a morning show over there. It just would be kind of silly to be.
Oh,
but maybe not, because maybe all the lights in Japan will be really fun and you can see those at night and stuff too.
We'll just be up hanging out. We'll figure it out.
I'm excited. I always don't want to get ahead of myself and talking about the other events that are coming up, because I like to focus on the ones that we're at now and the ones that are just coming up. But you guys, I'm very excited for Japan. I've always wanted to go there, and I just feel it's so nounish, everything about it, all the vending machines and stuff too. So
the vending machines, that's what you're looking at. You're
dude,
I am also excited about the vending machines.
Have you seen or heard about these that are everywhere? You can get hot food from them,
I have
hot ramen, treats.
Since I started Cheffo, I've wanted to do vending machines. I would love there to be a Food Nouns vending machine.
That'd be so cute.
There's so many cool things that you can do with NFTs and vending machines that we'll see in the future, and robotics and cool ways to heat things up. It's gonna be spectacular. It's part of the shift into an automated economy, and that's a much bigger conversation that maybe we'll have another time, maybe when we have some AI people on here. But yes, vending machines, amazing.
And
there probably will be AI built into the vending machines and things like facial recognition, and you could just walk up to this thing, it knows who you are, it knows what you want, it takes it out of your crypto wallet, it gives you the item, and you don't even press a button. You just what it could even see you coming from 20 steps away and have the order ready. You just walk up and grab it and it's ready for you.
AI vending machine is the future.
Mm.
I do want to just pull up here so everyone can see. Of course, since it's a film festival, there are like winners of this festival. I do have the winning list here. I'm just gonna go over here. The Pre-Uncertain Regard 2023. Let's see. Focused on art house, artistically daring films. The 2023 Uncertain Regard selection has included 20 feature films, 8 of which are first features, also competing for the Camera d'Or. This year, the opening film was Thomas Cayley's Le Regine Animal. Le Regent. Oh, God. You guys, I'm going to butcher this. I'm so sorry.
Go for it.
Oh my God. Chaired by American actor John C. Reilly. I saw John C. Reilly on the red carpet. That's who I was trying to tell you was here. The jury included French director and screenwriter Alice. He's the chair? That is so freaking cool. John C. Reilly is a fucking goat. That is freaking epic. Okay, here are the winners. Uncertain Regard Prize. How to Have Sex, directed by Molly Manning Walker, first film. New Voice Prize. Augur, which also means omen. Director Belogi, first film. Ensemble Prize. Kraura, The Buriti Flower, directed by, oh God, I'm so sorry. 2 people, Joao Salaviza and Renee Nader Misora. The Freedom Prize, Goodbye Julia, directed by Mohammed Kordofani, first film. Oh, so I wonder if it doesn't say like first film, if these people have been there before. Directing Prize, Asmay El Mudir by Khadib Abyad, The Mother of All Lies. And then again, the jury's prize, Les Mutes, Hounds, directed by Kamal Lazrak, first film. This is really, really cool that John C. Reilly is like the chair of this. That is incredible. So that must have been the announcements yesterday. Like when we were walking around, we keep like spending time like around the event itself. You can walk on the street and see the red carpet right there. Only like agency basically backed and funded media and people who have like their projects here can apply and get these passes. We even at our Bitcoin pizza party had someone that was there. I'm just gonna go back to our screen. That was a student film. It was like 3 student filmmakers, and they themselves didn't even have badges to get in, and their film was submitted into the festival. So it's kind of hard to get in, but lucky for everybody else in the streets, like you can watch it from across the street. There's tons of people. I did see John C. Reilly like up on the screen. I was like wondering what he was doing. I was wondering if he was in one of the films, but seeing that he's on that jury of the panels that are like making these selections for awards is like iconic. Very cool. Very cool. I also found out, because I know that you guys know that since we're making this documentary, I don't think that Con has a big documentary vibe. We kind of like were talking to someone about that last night. It's more of like getting comfortable over there.
Yeah, scooting around everything.
I know, seeing it scoot over. It's more of like there's like a hybrid of like a documentary and a film section, but not like just a flat out documentary style. But there are other festivals that we learned about that you can submit for and that are good for that too. So
What's the Canadian one? Top Doc? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure. I have like a whole like list I've written down, but we definitely have to explore that to kind of check out what's going on, and where we could possibly submit the film that we're making. The whole thing is fantastic and just super inspiring. Filmmakers in general, there is very much like we talked about this like Hollywood Regency, like glamour vibe here. And I just love that so much. I love films and I love movies and I love the whole scene behind it. And I love like the whole, it takes a whole team and production to like make something really beautiful. And I really love that. But I also love the opportunity that indie filmmakers and like documentary filmmakers have, where maybe you don't need that whole production team and like you don't need to have a union production. Like what can you create yourself,
It's
and put out there.
interesting to see kind of like the lifespan of a film. And while it's being filmed, and then obviously like even after it goes through festival seasons and stuff like that. Like I think that there's tons of fervor and excitement at the time, but there's also something super interesting to like know that that film is gonna pop up in somebody's Netflix 5 years later, and then 5 years from then. That is fascinating about film, is how it's like timeless. It's like these moments in time that you're capturing in a sense.
Yeah, and that it really puts you on this like trajectory of like years, depending on what you're creating and making. This also was very much more than I had expected, but definitely predicted, which is why I put it on my list of events for Nouns on the Ground and our proposal, Prop 206. This was definitely an influencer event. I was seeing these regular TikTok influencers that I follow. They were here at Con, even just here without having anything submitted. They weren't in any of the movies. It just kind of was one of those classic examples of a place to be. It was like the place to be right now. And that's really important when we're talking about these things like proliferation, because these are the things I'm thinking about when I'm trying to coordinate these events of like having nouns here and being represented, having nouns get to go to Formula One. Like these are cool, rare opportunities where nouns can just be present and someone can see these noggles. And, it just, who knows what comes from that, but what came 100% from this current trip was like massive connections within the industry, in the film industry, getting to meet a prop builder, which I was not expecting. That was so cool. Having random run-ins in the street with other NFT community people. Shout out Adrian and shout out Rug Radio France. Getting to meet other NFT Web3 community people here, who were also celebrating just the fact that this entire city is celebrating film in that industry right now. It was more than we could have expected. It was epic. It was very nounish. And I'm excited that it was really cool that we got to meet the first ever NFT European funded film, and that it was like nouns funded.
Amazing.
That's insane. Like that needs to be talked about. I really look forward to me and Cheffo were talking about this, like giving these more like in-depth things. Of course, we talk about these things on the stream all the time, but maybe some people can't tune into the stream, or they don't listen to a 2-hour podcast. That's fine. That's totally okay. But we're going to do some type of written thing that really kind of goes over what these activations were like in these different cities, just so you guys can get an idea of how we are trying to proliferate the meme in our unique way, which is by this like inclusion at these massive events that happen across the world, which are NFT and crypto events, and just these like social events that happen. So I think it's really cool.
Very neat and very nounish.
Like the shirt you even have on right now is very nounish, and that was from like the Ann Arbor, the Michigan University thing that we did. You had to maybe pull his little mouth down there.
Coldest day of my life. No.
So we can see that it's the bear.
I love this shirt. He's super cute. We had a chance to meet the person who designed this mascot.
The logo.
This logo.
And then they liked with the noggles on it. They got a shirt. So they have a shirt with the noggles. It's like, it's all of those little moments that you can't like really describe, that they're happening the whole time you're at these events. And it's like, yeah, that is so true. Like the guy who made that logo, he has now our version with the noggles on it, and loved it. Thought it was adorable. And since Nouns is CC0, like who knows, maybe next year they have a little upgrade. They add the yellow noggles to their thing. I don't know. It's totally possible. People could do that. And are encouraged to do that because of CC0. I am going to pull up this article I found about Formula One because I do think it's pretty fascinating. Let's see. It had like all the, oh, here it is. It's just a video I'm going to show you. It's the track. So this is the track, and it's definitely like happening throughout the whole city. I think like these over here, like that left is like, there's benches around everywhere. And you were saying there's like boats around as well, right? That you could just be like sitting on your boat and watching the race.
Yeah, there's one part of it I saw someone was TikToking from like an apartment building, like right above it, and out the window. And there was like this one part of the road that had the boat, like there was people lining one side and there was boats lining the other side.
Wow.
Yeah, that was wild. And there was people sitting on their boats watching. So at some point in, I think, I don't know.
Yeah, there's like just a quote here from Jolyon Palmer, former Renault F1 driver. Monaco is a beautiful circuit and a true driver's track. It feels like madness in an F1 car. Even in comparison to the other street circuits, it's so narrow and the roads are cambered. It's tight and twisty, and there are challenges everywhere. I love coming out of Saint Devotee Turn 1, which is a challenge in its own right. It's so steep at the exit that you're looking at the sky. Going to Massenet and Casino, you got to hug the inside line at Massenet, otherwise you skittle into the barriers on the outside.
Jesus.
Wow. Turn 1. We got to sit at turn 1.
Uh,
Oh, I do see. I see that. Look at that. That top little left corner.
yeah, I see it.
Damn. It's so steep. You're looking at the sky. That is freaking cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how much mayhem it's going to be.
Wow.
I feel like the French are pretty organized, so it'll be organized, but I also feel like it'll be chaos.
Well, the whole city gets involved and gets to be a part of it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
There's stands and bleachers everywhere. I really look forward to
Well, that's what I saw. There's like stands and bleachers, and I was wondering like what you have to do to get on those, or if you can just walk up to those. I don't know. We'll have to ask our friend who's taking us, but either way, we'll get some really great footage. I'm gonna take one of the nice cameras and yeah, just get some really cool stuff.
I mean, this thing is so sick.
Do you think you could drive one of those, Aubtoshi?
No.
I don't think you could.
I do not think that I could.
I think I could barely. They're so insane.
Well, you know, I did have like a friend who did racing, and of course, my uncle was a professional motorcycle racer. My cousin, who's his son, was a professional motorcycle racer. So I've been around a lot of racetracks in my life, getting to watch them and seeing how they did that. But I had another friend who was trying to become a racer. So Earnhardt Jr. also talks about this in that podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast that we talked on yesterday. But it's a simulator. It's a driving simulation. You can actually you master it in the simulation. And they said when you sit in the car, it's the exact same as the driving simulator. You do the exact same buttons, you feel the exact same thing, you hear the exact same sounds, and they all practice in simulators.
Oh yeah.
They're not practicing on these tracks like this all the time. That's just not happening. They literally get really, really good from the simulators. They just master it through there and then just apply that.
Did you know that race car drivers are in really good shape as well?
Yes.
They have to go to the gym because it's all about breathing and having to keep a low resting heartbeat. I think it's
and the tension of moving the wheel like this. Imagine the core strength.
Exactly, and the hand-eye coordination, the rapid response, yeah.
There was a race car driver. I'm gonna see if I can remember. I'm butchering his name, Thomas Andretti.
There's Michael Andretti. The Andretti family is pretty much the
Remember the Andretti? Okay, wait. Remember one of them? The Andretti. Okay, he did a NASCAR race and then immediately flew over to Monaco to do a Formula One. No one's ever done it before. But he basically had to walk everybody through what he was doing to prepare for that. And he had this crazy diet that he had to follow just for even energy levels alone. But he was on massive carbs. They said he was just eating plain spaghetti the whole day, because he had to keep these carbs in. Because doing those two types of races like that apparently was just insane. Michael Andretti. It was Michael Andretti.
Dude, if I'm sitting here eating big bowls of spaghetti and carbs, I am not driving fast. Okay, I'm driving fast to my couch. Holy shit, dude! I don't know.
I remember hearing that as a kid, and I was like, "That is crazy."
It makes sense.
No one else had done it. Wow. I am seeing these images of these tires barely missing these outer barriers. This is a tiny, very narrow course.
Do you see these streets out here?
Yeah.
They're the same. It's
I'm gonna see how long, how many laps do these things have to do?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Let's see. Here's some stats. Lap record. Lewis Hamilton for Mercedes 2021, 1 minute and 12 seconds. Okay, so they're doing these laps in
a minute and 12 seconds.
Damn.
around the whole town.
Wait a minute.
Mm.
How many? I gotta look that up because now I'm curious. I gotta know how many times they're going around this thing. Like, how long is this race? I know it starts at like 9 p.m. tomorrow, or a.m. I believe, 9 to noon. I have to. How?
I'm gonna guess 200 laps.
Okay, I'm gonna guess 500.
You might be right.
Oh, pfft. Most Formula One races take between 50 to 70 laps to complete the required 305 kilometers.
305 kilometers is the length.
Circuits that are longer will require fewer laps. Just tell me how much. Yeah, it's 90 minutes, an hour and a half. But it's not allowed to exceed 2 hours.
Crazy.
So do they just go by time? I guess I'm just like learning this right
Yes,
now.
they go by time.
And how many laps are you able to complete in that time?
I'm pretty sure there's a staggered start, so like
We were way ahead. It said some of them have like 78 laps, some have 40.
Yeah, and I think there's this staggered start, and then like you can catch up to people. Like I think you can lap people. Like
It lasts between 88 and 200 minutes from start to finish.
Yeah.
This can be longer when there's those like safety car periods. Wow.
It's gonna be wild.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess like, yeah, if they're doing like a minute and something, it would make sense that there'd be like that 75 sort of lap amount. That is crazy. That happens really fast. Let me get this exact time because I want to make there early. I want to make sure we make this. What time? Who are you most excited to see? Is it Charles Leclerc? Because that's what I am most excited about.
I'll be excited for Charles.
Let's see. What time does it start? 4 p.m. local time.
Cool. Plenty of time.
I don't think that's correct. Oh, maybe. 4 p.m. local time. Okay, let's go.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense because my phone's trying to tell me it was like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., but that's Los Angeles time. So that would be...
People start late, here. People go slow in the morning, they start late, they gotta get that lunch.
Well, we're also like 9 hours ahead of our LA friends right now. Okay, cool. So it starts at 4. That's going to be awesome. We're going to go down there early. We'll be sharing tons of like fun pictures with noggles and people and asking people about nouns and what a noun is, but mostly being present at the first time at Formula One race because I think that's really important just to have like a presence. I've not seen a nouns there. We talked a little bit yesterday about the potential of like advertising, being a sponsor for a driver and stuff, like what that could entail. We kind of said that like, NARS does professional athletes. It would make sense to have a race car driver, even if that was just like a small sponsorship on the helmet or something. But I'm excited to sort of like explore that a little bit more and see what that could look like and would look like.
Sticker ready and just slap it on someone's helmet. Straight to jail.
Yeah, straight to jail. I don't
But
think
hey,
that's
I mean, they might love it.
That involves like, first of all, touching a driver before they go, like slapping someone's head, stickering something and vandalizing, and then we got to be good.
There'll be this video of
we're smart with our stickers.
Cheffo getting arrested, just yelling CC0, CC0.
Oh, jeez, let's not do that. There's a correct way to proliferate, and there's probably just the absolute wrong way to do that.
Yeah.
We like to be cautious too. Like, I'll get some stickers that are for laptops and things, but we have produced stickers before that are like these non-stick cling stickers. Those are really cool. And you aren't vandalizing when you're doing that. So just be cautious if you're out there doing noun stickers.
That's what I meant, of course.
Um,
They might blow off during the race.
Also, like during those races, like banners are around. Like nouns could totally have like a nouns banner, like with just the noggles. I feel like the noggles themselves like kind of get that vibe of like, it looks like a fun race car. It's the eyes. It's like almost they could be on the turns, They're like watching the race. Like,
well, the racing, I believe, like especially back in the day when they had different helmets but they were called goggles. Like the glasses that you put on so the dust and the bugs.
Yes.
They're literally goggles.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a pretty easy connection, you know. I mean, I think that'll be a cool thing that happens in Nouns when
Yep.
we see like Noggle like style snowboarding things. That'll be really cool.
Yep, the running club has already started doing that. Like they have like their version. It's so
Oh, they
cool.
do really?
Yep, like runner's glasses.
Oh wow, I have to check that out.
Yep.
Haven't
I don't
seen
know
it.
if they've produced them, but they have like it's like their logo for the Nouns Running Club.
Is that in their prop or is that?
Yeah, it would be.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, definitely like the skiing, snowboarding goggles is the
That
thing.
would be a big deal.
Yes, especially because people wear them at festivals. Very much so at Burning Man. Every person has a pair of snowboard goggles.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna get a pair.
Yep, we have to figure out how we're gonna put like noggles on those things. I already have like some ideas. Like I think that could be really cool. But just it's one of those things that I'm excited for whoever is gonna be the first person to produce some nounish goggles like that, like actual noggles, like a true nouns goggles. Those are gonna be epic. If you know anyone that does that, like reach out to them. This could be your opportunity. Come on. We need those nouns, noggles out there. There's so many action sports people that could be using them. So many people right now in just the nounish ecosystem alone that would just like completely benefit from those. That is a great product that should be happening.
It's gonna be a little bit of research, development, manufacturing, like all that kind of good stuff. Safety testing for sure.
Yeah, and even just like if the it doesn't have to necessarily be shaped like noggles. Like the strap on it could have noggles on it.
Totally.
You know, like just make it nounish. I'm totally seeing that the strap, like the foam, could be like specific.
I
Like
like
there's
the
like the
strap
foam around
idea.
it and stuff. Yeah, like the strap could just be like red with noggles on it. It'd be sick. I always am thinking about all these ideas. That's the greatest part about nouns too. Like it's ideas and like creative projects, like the media film ones that we're talking about now too. But it's also like minimum viable products, like a product, anything that you can like hold with your hand, like nouns coffee and stuff. Like it's just so exciting to kind of always be thinking about what a product like that could be. I know that we're like always brainstorming and thinking about ideas like that.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. It's always products are really cool, and there's a lot of creative opportunity in products. But you know, you really have to
Hmm.
do some research and talk to your people because you know to prototype things is definitely costs money and takes time. And so
Hmm.
it's one of those things that it's a good thing that there's like some of those barriers to entry because then when someone does follow through on it, like Salvino and stuff like that, they can knock it out of the park. I mean,
Well, that's the thing too. It's like don't just like think. Of course, anyone could, you could think of a random idea and try to go make that happen, but bring like what you're good at. And there's some people that just have connections to manufacturing, and all different types of products. And I think that like bring what you already have connections to, and see how you can kind of make it nounish. And that's where these like really unique, cool products are going to happen because it's going to come from people who already have experience with that product.
I mean, we literally are seeing that with wet wipes. You know,
Yes,
and
the nounish wipes. I love it.
that's an incredible example of a product. I won't even call it a random product, just a
Oh, it's
product.
cool. I want to use one. I will
And
definitely be using it.
oh, it passed. Like we're going to be literally using these wet wipes, handing them out. Pretty neat.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
We should totally link up with that team and kind of see what their timelines are going to be.
Yes, and we obviously need them for the show. We use hand sanitizer all the time. We need wet wipes on us, like because we're traveling all the time, kind of like wiping down, where we're sitting on airplanes and stuff too. I think it's such a good product. We actually like while that prop was live, went out and like we're at just a normal grocery store, and I like told Cheffo, I'm like, look at what is at the cash register, and like the only product being sold right, like being held at the cash register. Obviously, I have your little gums and mint section over while you're putting stuff on like the conveyor belt, but connected to the cash register were a little tray of wipes, and so it is a
like,
thing.
They were like half sold out.
Yeah, it's a total thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Always brainstorming and thinking about these different types of products that could come through nouns. But more than anything, we are trying to just be liaisons that are here for anyone that does have their own sort of product or idea. And, any way that we can help you guys understand how to present that idea to nouns, like we're 100% here for you.
Okay, I have a question after. Well, let's
Yep.
play a game here. Let's for prop 300.
Okay.
Do you think that it will be for A, an event,
Mm-hmm.
B, a product, C, an interface, or D, a contract protocol update? What do you think it would be?
I mean, maybe a contract protocol update, or maybe an event.
I think you're probably right about those. I'm going with contract update. Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, we haven't seen like super techie stuff in a second here. There are some ones going on right now. Uh, you never know. Like that's what's so cool about now. Is like you could just open
Yep.
up the DAO page at any point in time, and a brand new prop will be there.
And it could be something that we've never seen before.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like it could be something of those options that you didn't even list.
Exactly.
You know, like
I
who
hope
knows?
I hope that it is. Yeah.
It's so cool, and we're just barely scratching the surface on potential and possibilities of what this could all do and mean.
Yep. Yep. For sure. It's organic and it's based on human input, and that's amazing.
Yes, it is. I am
C'est bon.
c'est bon.
I need more French, man. I gotta get that Duolingo.
Duolingo.
Duolingo. See, I need to even pronounce the app, Aubtoshi.
Duolingo.
That doesn't. I think
That sounds.
that
It's like two tongues,
lingua. Is
two
tough.
languages.
I need the two tongues.
Yeah.
Good night.
We're not done yet.
I'm just kidding.
Yes. Duolingo's really cool. I do want to get that. You'll be better off in Brazil. Maybe not. We don't speak Portuguese.
Ooh, I don't think that. Yeah,
But-
I bet a lot of people speak English.
Yes, and I've talked about that as well. I've been talking to people about like potential other conferences we could go to, and all of them have told me like they're totally in English, like these conferences. So I'm excited about that. I am excited about this NFT Brazil. I really cannot wait to touch down there. Of course, we're gonna finish strong here in the south of France, but I'm really excited to go and like get to meet the people who have been proliferating in the
Yeah.
community for so long. I will shout out JP again. He was the first person to make a viral TikTok that had to do with nouns. And by viral, I mean like actually viral, like multi-millions of views viral. So epic job on JP's part. He's killing it.
He, I think I don't know if he was jealous of your name in the food noun server or whatever it was.
Pickleback Toshi?
Yeah, and I said,
Oh, J
I
Potato.
said you need a nickname, and bam, it just kind of came out like J Potato.
We love
And
J Potato.
My boy J Potato.
We love that he loves food nouns. We love that he's planted gardens, you guys, with like little food noun sticks showing like each little vegetable and herb that was being made like and grown. Like it. This is a very thoughtful person when it comes to how they are working with nouns and then presenting their ideas to the world. And I think you can never shout out someone enough when have that thought process and are just creatives in general. So thank you, JP and Vlad and everybody involved who've been spending time proliferating for nouns with or without on-chain proposals. It's seen by the community. I see you guys. We totally love you guys over at OTG and just keep killing it. We are excited to connect on the ground next week with you guys. I think it's going to be epic. I heard that we're all going to have Brazilian beef, which I am excited for.
And seafood as well.
We should find out the specialty of like Sao Paulo.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are so many different regions
I'll look right now.
in Brazil. Sao Paulo is where this specific one is going to be. While you're doing that, what I will do, I know that unfortunately this proposal did not pass, but I am going to pull it up because it has like a breakdown of this community. Let me see if I can get a good photo on here.
Ooh, you want the food list?
Yes, give it to me.
Wait, let me open this.
I'm just waiting for this to load about this like location that it's at. It is, let's see. Oh yeah, it's at the Biennial. Biennial? I'm gonna pull up this window screen here so everyone can see.
It's a famous building.
Yep. and it's in this like park area, sort of right smack dab in the center of the downtown, which is very, very exciting. Okay, give us that food list. I got you on the screen. We're
All
ready.
right. Okay. So Sao Paulo gathers the best restaurants in Latin America. There are over 15,000 restaurants and 20,000 bars.
Wow,
Yep, pretty cool.
crazy.
So there's a bologna sandwich,
Mmm.
like a pound of bologna.
I love
That
bologna
looks
sandwiches.
amazing. Codfish pastel.
Mmm.
It's like a stuffed codfish soaked in all like perhaps.
Mmm. Stuffed with what?
I am not sure what the stuffing is. Let's see. There's baru, which is it's like a sandwich on like a French roll with pork, cheese, tomato, looks like pickles. Um, Pastel de Maria, the most awarded pastel stand in the city is Maria's.
Okay.
A Japanese woman who came to Brazil in 1963.
Wow.
Incredible. There's another pork sandwich that's like super famous. Pizza made the list.
What style? Like, what does their pizza look like?
Oh, it looks like a pizza.
Yeah, but like, everyone's pizza looks different. Is it like thinner crust? Is it like?
There's like it's a hand toss, but it's not super thin.
Okay.
And there's definitely like some different types of ingredients. Some
Nice.
different mushrooms that are fairly local. It looks like some
Cool.
pork products that are fairly local. I think that there are some, American food has made its way down there, burgers and all that. But yeah, no, there's a lot going on. We will definitely do some exploring, but I'm going for the beef Aubtoshi. I'll go for the pork sandwiches, the beef. We'll have to learn about the desserts. We'll have to learn about the juices. Of course, we'll have to learn all about the coffee, how they drink coffee in Brazil. I'm sure they do different teas and things as well. So really spectacular. That's always a fun part of the journey because 9 times out of 10, unless we're standing in a conference hall, engaging with someone, and even then, like at VeeCon within the conference hall, it was over snacks or a beer or a soda. But 9 times out of 10, when we are networking and explaining to people what the DAO is about, it's usually over a beer or a glass of wine or dinner, and it makes it easier to just have some of those conversations when you're
I was gonna say too,
with someone and talking and
well, even if all that stuff isn't there, what is true is that as we go out to these different events and have these experiences, a noun is a person, place, or thing. Getting to experience the city that we're in is nounish.
Yes.
Bringing nouns around with us, sharing that experience is nounish. Technically speaking, for our prop, we don't have to share the foods that we're having or the conversations we're having over food, but that ends up being a very important part of it. And naturally, when OTG throws a special dinner or a little event, it's always over food and drink because that's when people actually have an intimate experience where they can talk to each other and relay ideas back and forth together.
And I'll take VeeCon as an example again. We had a chance to meet Jen, right? And famous artist, iconic in the space. We ran into her because we were all staring at the slide that you have to go down oh my God, look at this thing.
Yeah, there was this one slide that you could do a burlap sap down into VeeCon.
I think I caught air on that one, but kind of what I'm saying is, we were fortunate enough to, you recognized her and her outfit, and so we introduced ourselves and said hi and all that, same way that you're recognizable in your outfits and stuff, and if I'm wearing an ounce, so there is...
We're always wearing noun stuff.
There is that value, and same way Poap has his look, there is that value in real life that we certainly do our best to tap into, but if someone is giving a speech, or if there's a panel of people that are giving a speech, oftentimes, they are backstage before they talk, They are super jacked and excited after they talk. In some of these conferences, someone will come on stage and literally kick the entire group to the back of the room and say, okay, the next group of speakers are coming on. And so, you know, you have to kind of learn how to like poke your way in all different situations. But when you do have the chance to finally sit down with someone and have like a glass of wine, it's like as real of a connection as it gets, and that's when the
Or anything, water even. I've had the best conversations I've had with individuals over like a sparkling water.
Of course. But you get my point, and the point is that like there are these different types of IRL meeting connections, and it's really good to be able to experience all of them because each one kind of is as important as the next. I
Well, think about like all the events that you just as a normal person are familiar with how they run, like birthdays, weddings, like these major events. It's people gathering over like food and drink and dancing, and you know that's why parties are great because it actually like gives people just a safe environment where they're like, oh, there's like-minded individuals here, like going to the party with like the French NFT collection that's here, like over like just like minor just like drinks and like just music. We were all together, like it connected all of us, and everybody knows how to operate like with that environment, and everybody knows that that type of environment is supposed to stoke, you know, the creativity between people being able to actually meet each other and learn a little bit more about each other.
We did the same exact thing, you know, with JD in Denver, you know, with Meebits in New York, with ATX DAO in Austin. You know, it's just a way that people feel comfortable meeting each other. And if you're a builder and you're new to a thing, like it always helps to have some type of like something that kind of brings the calm, you know, disarms the situation a little bit. And that,
well, it's fun to have an activity.
It is, and also to be completely honest, like Nouns is very wholesome, and we are wholesome, and so we are out here being wholesome, giving off that energy, offering that to other people while also explaining things like technicals and governance and stuff like this.
Dude, the three students that had submitted a film that was playing here in Con, 3 students, college students, they came to our Bitcoin Pizza Day event and then came out to me afterwards and like kind of hung out with us for the next little 30 minutes. We kind of like walked around town and just saw the little premieres. There's like this one premiere on the beach that's happening that you can walk up to and see. But they all said like we've been to multiple side events at all of Con. Like they're like, this was the best one. Like that was the most like gratifying like thing to hear, especially as someone who likes to really throw these little mixers for people and stuff too, because it just continues to shine light on the importance that they're happening. And so hearing that like that this was their experience, that this was like their favorite side event, like I just could not believe that. But it's because we provided the basics for people, a really cool little location, an intimate experience that was private, food, beverages, water, and boom, the rest is magic and based on what everyone else can do with each other in the room.
Active listening.
Yes.
You know, that's a value thing that Nouns brings, and we literally like practice it with each other on all the calls that we do, Nounsel calls, Twitter spaces. We're practicing being active listeners as opposed to being active shillers or, you know, talking about price or talking about markets. Like, these conversations don't come up, you know, and so it's just kind of like people in Nouns are pretty good at listening to someone else's idea and offering, you know, feedback on that. And I think that that's like a massively undervalued value set within the community. We really do an amazing job, and to be completely honest, like offer consultation, not officially, but in just through human interaction and conversation, and leading by example, showing examples, pulling up other people's examples, telling stories from past builders' experiences. It's almost like it's like lore, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we Noun's lore in a way is not necessarily like, oh well, okay, a noun came from a castle and it went over. If that's the story that someone wants, they can do that because it's CC0,
Mm-hmm.
and they can turn that into a project and mint it and do all of those wonderful things that CC0 assets provide. But at the end of the day, the noun's lore is the natural growth of it. It is the camaraderie. It is the constant learning and the adjustment and the always striving to move forward, literally forever, one day at a time. And so that is for me the lore of Nouns DAO.
Yep. I completely agree. It's about the people that are in it and working within it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, as always, Cheffo, it's so great having you here on the show for the whole live stream. Any last words for our viewers before we start winding down here?
Yes. Gelato.
Okay, I love it. Thank you so much for co-hosting. Not quite yet. You will be off screen, but we are still just...
You're doing great, Aubtoshi. I just want to say you're doing great. France looks great on you.
Thank you.
I know that there's so much going on, but really just keep up the vibes. The show is a lot of fun, and I just can't wait to see it just keep going all around the world. So.
All right, thank you, Cheffo. We will see you next week, and I'll see you right after this, of course. Of course. Yes, the show will continue to becoming more and more fun as we get guests on here. As you can tell right now, we love the GM morning show. You probably saw a change in the lighting. The sun is setting here. It is the evening now, so we are winding down. But again, I just gotta thank everybody for tuning in to our Nouns on the Air podcast live every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. West Coast time. It is our pleasure. We talk about all people, places, and things from around the world. God, I feel bad saying bye to Con, but bye, Con friends. It's been incredible. We are excited to come live next week, Sao Paulo, Brazil. We will see you there. As always, chat, thank you guys for being here with us.